Hello everyone, this is Gilbert Jalon. I'm talking to you here from CPLSPA downtown headquarters with Tufts On Tax with T. Scott Tufts. You can call him at 877-647-7887. Again, that number is 877-647-7887, or you can email him at any time at stufts@cplspa.com. That's STUFTS at cplspa.com. You can always visit our website at cplspa.com and visit his bio. You have the podcast, you have the newsletters, you have his bio, all the information you need to know. And now today, this is a new episode. Hello, Scott. How are you?
Good to be with you.
So, okay, so we're going to study today Form 8082, and you earlier told me, did you study this? And I'm like, I'm looking at you with a puzzled look. What would I study?
How long have we been doing these episodes? What episode are we on?
Oh my God, 23 maybe?
Okay, so after 23 episodes, do you ever remember us talking about an 8082?
Maybe, yes, maybe.
These numbers just get all kind of crazy.
They're getting familiar.
Okay, good. Good. And so we've talked about K1.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So
like last time and your webinar also last Friday.
Right. So if you got a K1 in the mail for some activities that you were doing, and you looked at it and you just and you said this can't possibly be right, then you need to find this form in a hurry and get with your accountant and determine, oh my gosh, I need to do something. If you have that kind of reaction to your K1 and you and your accountant determine that K1 is wrong, and you and your accountant determine after requesting the issuer of the K1 to fix it and they refuse, you've got to go to 8082.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And do they need you also at that point when they reach that level that you're talking about? Do they need the lawyer?
Well, they could, because this is going to create a problem. Okay. This is why you notice what I said. You're trying to correct the K1, just like we talked about 1099 and other things. When a mistake is made, you want them to fix it rather than you file some form that's going to essentially be the match in the forest. You know what I mean? So the 8082 is a very serious matter, but it has to be filed. What we're seeing out there in the cases is folks, maybe get a K1 that's not correct, and they go along with it, and then they try and fix it later. And what the IRS will say is, we needed to know about it when you did your return. So obviously what we're trying to get the word out to our audience is, look carefully at your K1. Look carefully at all four corners of the K1 and everything in it. If the left side, which isn't the numbers going on your tax return, is incorrect, such as the capital accounts or the debt levels or the description of your partnership, the type of partner you are, general partner, member, manager, if it's not correct, you have to fix it. If you don't, you could find yourself in a problem later not fixing that which occurred earlier. All right, so how are we doing so far? Good?
Good, we're getting there.
and what's interesting is if we look at this 8082, you can kind of look right underneath the big heading. So you got this crazy heading, Notice of Inconsistent Treatment or Administrative Adjustment Request. So believe it or not, this form is also used for you to send this to the IRS and say, I think a mistake was made on the return. Now, what's nice about it is, look what it says in parentheses in smaller print. For use by partners, S corporation shareholders, estate and domestic trust beneficiaries, foreign trust owners and beneficiaries, REMIC, residual interest holders, TMPs, and PRs.
And folks, that will be displayed on the YouTube channel. If you're watching it, I'll put a sample of the form so you can see what he's talking about.
Yep. And what we're trying to get the word out here is that if you look at line 2 of the form 8082, it says identify the type of pass-through entity in which you are a partner, shareholder, or member. And what they're trying to break down are these structures where the K1's flowing through a complicated structure. Okay? Got it? And at the bottom, now the other interesting thing is if you don't get a K1, but you should have, you say you're a partner or S corporation shareholder, and you don't get a K1, you got to file this form as well. People don't know that.
Oh.
And the reason why is at the bottom, you can estimate the amount you were reporting versus the amount as shown on the K1, right? Or your return, whichever applies. So what's happening in these boxes down here at the bottom is you're reporting something different than what's on that K1. And see, that is critical because what you're putting on the return is not matching with the K1. And when they don't match, you got a mismatch. This form sets the stage and puts the proverbial warning to the IRS that they've got a mismatch, right? So if look at it this way, Gilbert, if you've got a K1 and you don't do this, then the IRS is going to automatically assume that that K1 information is correct, and they're going to automatically adjust your return, correct? And therefore, think about this. Let's say you get a K1.
Yeah.
The right side says, here's where all your information goes, right? And you just say, ignore it. Don't put it on the return, right? Well, the IRS system is set up to automatically put that on your return. And they don't have to audit you. So they'll make an automatic adjustment to your return and send you
without
the bill.
you knowing.
Without you.
And then you discover it.
Right. Now what are you going to argue?
Yeah.
Whereas if you put the 8082 in front of that, you've protected yourself. Correct?
And get the correct information.
Right.
Get the correct thing. So what is here when it says attached form also 8980? Is that something?
Oh, so this is a whole nother thing.
Oh.
We talked in the past episodes about how the IRS changed a couple years ago where they said, if we audit one of these LLCs or partnerships and we think that they've not put all the income down or they've taken too many expenses, we're going to adjust it at the entity level and we're going to make the entity pay the tax and chase down the partners to get reimbursed.
Oh, wow.
So think about it. They have, through that action and change, coming up with what we call the Bipartisan Budget Act way of auditing, they've turned the LLC into a tax collector. How many people know that? Because the conventional wisdom out there for our audience is these are pass-through entities, LLCs and partnerships. They don't pay tax. They just, get their stuff done by March 15th, and then they flow it through to the shareholders or partners, and then they give you something, and then you know what to do come April 15th, to put on your return, and you just hand it to the accountant, and it all spits out, and life is good. But if those forms are wrong, right, or you don't get that form, but you should have, you've got to use this 8082. So this document, and you'd be shocked at how many people I come to and say, have you ever heard of this form 8082? And they say, no, sir.
Wow, really?
And I'm talking professionals in the area of tax.
So not only me.
Not only you. So that's why we focus on it on a special episode, because we've got to get the word out that this guy, and again, you notice what I said, you don't file this unilaterally. You try and get from the source the corrected K1 before you drop this thing. Why?
So they don't do it.
Right, because you might have an operating agreement or partnership agreement that says, if you have any issues with the financial statements we provide you, you better come to us first. And if you don't, we're going to sue you or hold you accountable. So here you go off and do this, and you create a calamity, and everybody gets audited because you filed the 8082. So it's not for the faint of heart. So you ask me, is this something I come in and do? 100%. Because I'm not concerned about the form itself. I'm concerned about the collateral damage caused by the 8082. I'm concerned about the legal language in the operating agreement or partnership agreement. And I'm concerned people don't know what they're doing on this issue. Because again, like I said, this is high-end stuff. People don't even know it's there. And when I do my research, I can tell you there's cases literally daily coming out on K1s. So everybody's got to stop with this idea that taxes are too complicated. The IRS never looks at them. They don't become court cases. Wrong, wrong, wrong. They're out there. It's happening. And you don't want to be on the wrong side of this issue. You want to stay ahead of it with your accountants on top of these issues. So that's why we are doing this, right?
Exactly.
Gilbert? We want to get the word out.
We want the word out. We want to educate people. We want them to learn so they are not in the middle of the road, not knowing what to do. And of course, they always can come to you and you can help them and guide them.
Exactly. And last I'll say is, Gilbert, when you're done with me here and we're going through this so much, you'll have all the acronyms figured out. So I'll be able to quiz you on one of our future episodes. I'll be able to say, all right, Gilbert, tell me what TEFRA means.
Lord.
And, and I'll see if you've been paying attention over there instead of just hiding behind your headset.
I need callers to help me.
Yeah, you might. We might ask for the callers to come in and help us. But anyway, seriously, we'll get the word out and continue to push this. But this is tax time. Make sure that if that K-1's wrong or you don't get a K-1, you protect yourself with an 8082 filed with your return. Okay?
You heard him, folks. Educate yourself, learn more. Tune in with us to learn from Mr. T. Scott Tufts, and also he is here to help you. Call him if you need help. If you are in the middle of a situation like that, call him at 877-647-7887. Again, that number is 877-647-7887, and will be on the bottom of the screen on YouTube if you are watching our YouTube channel. We're also going to put the form on there while we're talking. I'm going to edit that and put that on there. So this is Tufts on Tax, where all your tax law questions are answered here. Any trouble you are having with forms, with taxes regarding lawsuits, any trouble with employers, businesses, employees, family, IRS, anything, you can call him at this number, and also email him at stufts@cplspa.com. That's stufts@cplspa.com, and visit the website at cplspa.com and learn more about him, and you can reach out to him. We have his email, his phone number, and anything you want to learn. Thank you, and we'll be with you again with another episode, another form, and more information. Thank you.